Good day, everybody. Once again, Assalamu alaikum. We are going to be talking about February 27th presidential primary election here in Michigan. It is very important primary because, first of all, the Democrats and the Republicans are going to pick their nominee for the president. So there is too much at stake in that particular thing on the ballot. But on the ballot, there are two proposals, and they're very, very important to our community, especially in Dearborn and Dearborn Heights with the Dearborn School District. The Dearborn School District also includes Henry Ford College as well. And there are two ballots on this, there are two proposals on the ballot. One is for Dearborn Public Schools, which last week we talked to Dr. Glenn Maleko about the proposals, and you can see the interview on our Facebook and on Dearborn Heights and the Arab American News and Sadr al-Watan and other Facebooks. And the interview is also in the Arab American News this week. We have recommended that we vote yes on that proposal for the Dearborn Public Schools. But today, we are going to talk about the second proposal on the ballot, which is for Henry Ford College. As you all know, Dearborn is lucky because it's probably the only city in the state of Michigan, in fact in the Midwest, that has its own college. And the Dearborn Board of Education runs both, or oversees both, the Dearborn Public School and Henry Ford College. And also we are lucky because at Henry Ford College at the helm, there's a person that has been really working very hard to advance the college, and he has made so much progress. And I am happy to welcome him to this program. Welcome to the program, Mr. Kavalhuna, Russ Kavalhuna, the president of Henry Ford College. Thank you for joining.
Thanks for the time, Osama.
I know that this is a very important election because there is on the ballot there is a proposal for 4 mills, which is 4 per thousand for the homesteads and businesses as well. And that will probably bring in enough money, about 20% of the budget that you guys have. And if you lose it, you lose 20% of your income, and therefore you have to cut your services. First of all, I have a couple of questions for you. How many students we have in Henry Ford College, and how many students of those numbers are Dearbornites?
Well, thanks for having me, Osama. I couldn't agree with you more that this is very important because we serve about 15,000 students every year. And the numbers fluctuate, but we're generally the third largest community college in the state of Michigan. We're really proud of that, and we are centered in Dearborn. But the reality is about 6 out of 10 students come from outside of Dearborn because they value Dearborn's college so much. They want to get to Henry Ford College so much that they'll actually pay extra. And that is true. Yeah. If you don't live in Dearborn and you come to our college, you pay almost double the amount. And that's how valuable the education is there. It's also why we're really proud to give people from Dearborn almost half off for the services that we provide in our classrooms.
Well, I know that that you have done in your tenure so far. You have done so much for the college to advance the college and make sure that the people who are really attending the college, they are benefiting also from the arrangements you've made with other colleges. Can you elaborate a little bit on this, Mr. Kavalhuna? Because I know it very well. What you've done is you've done something that for people who are going to college right now, for the students that are attending college right now, if they take their associate degree after 2 years, they can go and attend other universities immediately without even a question. And also, they will count every class that they took in Henry Ford at the universities. Can you elaborate and maybe build on this point? Because this is a very important point, by the way, and it's unique among other colleges.
Yeah, you're right. We're really proud of this. I can't take all the credit for it. I can say our community and our leaders at both the Dearborn community and Henry Ford College have done what you've just said. We're the only college in the state of Michigan where our students at the community college don't have to ask for admission at 3 universities. the University of Michigan Dearborn, Wayne State University, and Eastern Michigan. Now that's really powerful because my students are like my family who went to a community college when they weren't really sure whether college was for them, but they had this dream. Frankly, it's the American dream, to get a college education and have a better life as a result of that. Now the whole span of it is to get a bachelor's degree. And the majority of our bachelor's degrees are given by those universities. So what we set out to do was to say that if you, student at Henry Ford College, come and are successful at Henry Ford College, then we don't want you to have to wonder whether you belong at the university. And we don't want you to have to wonder whether all those credits you got at Henry Ford College will travel with you. So it took years of effort, but as I say, we are now the only community college in the state of Michigan that can say to our students, if you come to Henry Ford College, finish 2 years, then you are automatically admitted at Wayne State, Eastern Michigan University, or U of M Dearborn, and you can take all 60 or 2 years worth of credits. And that's an extraordinary benefit that is special to Dearborn.
And the benefit in here is not only in saving time, but saving money. Because when you are in Dearborn and you're going to Henry Ford College, different than going to MSU, Michigan State, or Eastern Michigan, or Wayne State, because the tuition is probably 10 times or maybe 5 times more. And therefore they're saving money and they're saving time by staying in their family in their city and then going to college. That's very, very important and very effective, by the way. And thank you for whoever helped you. Thank you for leading this. And I know that it takes a leader in order to lead into something important like this. The other thing that I'd like to, before we talk about the Millage, is to talk about some of the accomplishment. One of the accomplishment is what you've done with Corewell and what you're about to do with Garden City Hospital, because both of us sit on the board of Garden City Hospital, and I know that you have already made a deal with Corewell, formerly Beaumont and Oakwood, about nursing, because nursing is we have shortages, and you have really taken the lead on doing something very important in order to at least help fill the vacuum that we have in the medical field. Can you explain what's the deal that you've made with Corewell and how does it work with Henry Ford and Corewell, and in the future with other hospitals like Garden City?
Yeah, the top line here is we found a way to guarantee our students jobs. Mm-hmm. And if you come to our campus, you're going to see that our students come to us either to find a path to a bachelor's degree or a path to a good job. So we just talked about the path to the bachelor's degree, which is transferring to a university. But the path to a job was something we were trying to also be the first college in our state doing. And so we partnered with the largest employer in the entire state, which is Corewell Health. They now have what we used to call Oakwood. Mm-hmm. And the administration at that institution said, we value your nursing students so much, we want them to come work for us so much that we'll guarantee them a job if they can get through your nursing program. Now, we're the first college in the state to have done that, but we think this is a model for other programs. For instance, folks at our college who are learning how to be technicians that support surgeons. That's called surgical mm-hmm. technologists, or people who are supporters of radiographers. That's called radiology tech. These types of jobs are necessary at both Corewell and Garden City Hospital, where you and I serve, and frankly the whole healthcare network. So it helps our Dearborn-based employer, Corewell. It helps the students that we serve, almost half of which are Dearborn citizens, who will stay in Dearborn. But we're also leading the entire state's higher education system by saying, we know that students want a path to a better job, and we've gone out and reached out to our employer friends mm-hmm. and said, please guarantee these students jobs, which we think can be a model for the entire state.
Good. There is another point that I'd like to bring it up to our viewers and listeners about the progress you've made during your tenure since you became the president of Henry Ford College, is that you have improved the early college. And there is, I heard the number, which is, I want you to confirm whether this is the correct number or not. There's about 2,700 students that they're going from the Dearborn Public School to Henry Ford in an early college program, which they go for free, which means that they are studying at a college when they are in high school for free. 2,700 students from Dearborn. explain how is this working?
Yeah.
Do you count those from the 15,000 that you have?
Yes, yes, and we're so proud of that. We are by far the leader in the entire state on this. We have 2,700 high school students who are currently enrolled at Henry Ford College, getting college credit, like we said, that will transfer to all those universities for $0 to the student and his or her family. The next highest college or university,
free. $0 means free.
Free. So, and I say this, 2,700 students is a lot.
Oh yeah.
And the next closest university or college who has high schoolers getting free college is less than 1,500. So we're almost double than the next closest competitor on this. And the reason why we're so proud of this is because this takes the opportunity to say to our community and Osama, I didn't grow up in Dearborn, but I came here 6 years ago because what I could see was how much this community valued education.
Absolutely.
Education is the path. It was the path to the American dream for my family. It is who were first generation Americans and first generation college going students. I see so many of my students who are that same lens of education, and we now know that they can get free college in high school. Now the way that works is the state of Michigan gives Dr. Maleko at the school district a certain amount per student, and he can allocate some of that amount per student to go to Henry Ford College to deliver that free college. And so what we have is students achieving 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 credits while they're in high school on their way to a bachelor's degree when they transfer. And it's those students who also can benefit if they get through the associate degree while they're in high school. Well, then they don't even have to ask for admission to the universities. And so we'll have folks graduating from high school already having 2 years of college paid for. Now, 2 years of college at a university would cost about $30,000.
Yes.
And that's nothing to the taxpayer. So for those who are wondering, is Henry Ford College worth that investment? I'll say to you, the way we serve our youth with public education, no one else in the state does it even close.
Well, I know that we've talked about 3 important accomplishments, but there are many. And I know that you are trying to raise funds in order to renovate and build new buildings in the college. Can you talk about this? How far you've gone so far? Because I know that you need about 80 million.
Yeah, and let's be clear. What's on the ballot?
No, that has nothing to do with it.
Yeah, what's on the ballot is
It's
simply
20% of the operation.
Yes, and we're simply asking Dearborn residents who own property, like me and my family, to continue the amount that they've been paying in taxes for the last several years.
Right.
And just for reference, the average taxpayer would pay about $250 for the entire year for this benefit.
And including you and me.
Yes, yes. Now, one of the things that if we continue this amount of funding, that we will do is use some of that funding from the millage.
I think I'm going to pay more than $250, but it's okay. Go.
You may pay a bit more than $250. That's based on the average homeowner.
It's only business too. I mean, this is for everybody.
Yes.
For businesses and for owners. For homeowners, but homeowners, they pay 50% of their state equalized value, which is if your house is 200,000, you pay only 100,000.
That's right.
4%. But if my building is worth 300,000, I pay on the 300,000.
That's right.
So that we have to make sure that.
So business owners like you also have a real value here that I want to make sure folks understand, because we wanted to be able to test this question: does Henry Ford College existing in your city do something for you as a business owner? And the answer was surprisingly yes, and very much yes. In 2022, an outside party came and evaluated how much of an economic impact Henry Ford College had, and it concluded that $1.4 billion of economic activity occurred as a result of this college. 20,000 jobs in our region are supported by Henry Ford College. Every dollar that taxpayers give us pumps $5 more back into the economy. And you may wonder, well, how could that be? And the truth is that these 15,000 students that come into our campus every day and come out of our campus every day, they bring with them money to spend at businesses. They bring with them the needs of goods and services. Frankly,
they fill their gas tank.
They fill their gas tank. They fill
buy
their stomachs.
They buy their food, of course. Yeah.
And some of them are the workforce that our employers need. But one thing that we have to do, if you've come to our campus, you'll see we have some buildings that are relatively new, but a few that are relatively old. And one that is very, very old needs to be replaced. And so we've been saving for the last 5 years to put a down payment on that. We're also really proud that we got $10 million from Lansing. We're the only community college from last year to get the state to give us a line item, $10 million. And so the $80 million that you mentioned was something that we're going to start building. We're going to take a very small, only 1 mill of the 4 mills and devote towards this new building. But it'll be a new building that, frankly, is desperately needed on our campus. And we'll use that to expand the number of high school students that we can serve on our campus who are getting free college. So it's an exciting proposition that I know taxpayers deserve to know the details about, but I can tell you we've been proud of the fact that we've attracted tax dollars from outside of Dearborn to support this, and we're able to do this without asking for any increase from our taxpayers who own property here in Dearborn.
So right now, let's talk about the proposal for a minute, because I think there is lots of confusion. The people who do not want the bond or the proposal to pass, this is not a bond, this is a millage, and it's a renewal. 3 mills are renewal. Actually 4 mills are renewal, right? The 1 and the 3.
That's right.
So it's all renewal. You're not going to pay more taxes. You're going to pay the same taxes. What's important about this too, Mr. Kavalhuna, is that good schools and good college means good neighborhood, and good neighborhood means that the value of your home is increasing if it's not maintaining. And of course, in addition to all of this, and more important than anything else, is we're giving the best education in the state, and evidence of that is the graduation rate from Henry Ford College that's going to important university, Ivy Leagues like University of Michigan, Harvard, Yale, and we write about them all the time. We're so proud of our students because they are really excelling everywhere, and that doesn't come by accident because there is hard work being put at the Dearborn Public School and also at the Henry Ford College. And I wanted to thank you on behalf of the community for doing this. But some people are reluctant. Say, why should I pay taxes on my property in order to support the college? Why can't the government give the money? Why can't the state, comes in with money? I know that this is 20% of your budget, the 4 mills. Break down for me your budget, the 100%. Where does it come from?
Yeah, that's a great question. 20% comes from property owners who pay taxes. 30% comes from the state of Michigan, who devotes tax dollars from all over the state into Dearborn's public community college. And then the rest is 50%, and that's paid for by students in tuition and fees. Now, the majority of those tuition dollars come from folks outside of Dearborn because they have to pay a higher rate.
Yeah, twice.
And because they value what we deliver,
right.
they actually drive past other community colleges to get to Henry Ford College and pay almost double their rate. But this 20% is actually relatively small as a percentage compared to other community colleges. If you were to look at other community colleges of our size, like Oakland Community College or Macomb Community College, or even Wayne County Community College, the percentage of property tax dollars for their budget, where ours is 20, those are around 40 to 50.
Wow.
And the reason is they have a bigger geographic area for which they collect taxes. Our geographic area is just the city of Dearborn and a little bit of Dearborn Heights. It's the public school district.
Right.
Now, we've done a lot of hard work to keep our costs down so that 20% doesn't have to creep up to 30%. That would be a tax increase for the Dearborn voters. But we've kept it at 20%, and because of that, we've been able to accomplish a lot of the things we've just talked about. The transfer agreement, which no other community college has. The guarantee of jobs in the healthcare system, which no other community college has. The amount of free college for high school students, which no one comes close to. And without that 20% of our budget, we would have to revisit those things. There's just simply no way to be able to serve 15,000 students and compete with those other community colleges when they get so many more property tax dollars, unless we keep our modest amount where it is.
So I want you to look at the camera and tell the people how important it is to go on February between now, because I think the polls will open for early voting on Sunday, and it's at the Civic Center at the Performing Arts. Can you address them and in your own words, and maybe excite them to go out and vote between the 17th and the 27th?
Yeah, well, so there's really nothing more American than voting. And there's nothing more important than public education. I know that because I've lived here long enough to know that that is in Dearborn's roots. And the truth is, your local community college is the best, closest option for getting a college education. In fact, we've made it so easy you can do it while you're in high school. And our community college is fantastic. I moved my family across the entire state to be part of it, and we're really proud of what it is. We're asking to keep it at the same level of funding from property taxpayers, but I know that's a tough question. So when you think about your future, whether it's for your money or your property or your children, I can promise you we're doing this best work we can at Henry Ford College, and we're asking for the modest amount of your property tax dollars to continue just the way they are. So please, whether you're excited or not about the presidential primary, please consider being excited about our community's community college. I'm excited about it. I'm asking you to go to the vote for it. And if you have any questions, directly contact me. I am your employee. Reach out to my office, which is easy to find. If you just Google Henry Ford College President's Office, I'll meet with you, I'll chat with you, I'll email with you if you have any questions. But do not give up your right to vote. It's so important.
Well, I'm going to second that. I'm going to encourage everyone to go out and vote yes on the Henry Ford Community College proposal, and also on the Dearborn Public School. As Mr. Kavalhuna said and articulated, actually, the community is very interested in education, and our kids are doing very well wherever they go. Therefore, we have to give them the means in order to continue to grow and become more successful. And education is the gate where they can go from there on to their future. And Henry Ford College and the Dearborn Public School are providing this, and we need to provide them with the means in order to continue to do this. Now, this has nothing to do with you. It's about the presidential race. Now, on February 27 is the presidential primary race. And the presidential primary race is in two parties, the Democratic Party and the Republican Party. Each party on February 27 will elect a nominee, nominate them to the November election. Our community has been watching what's going on in Gaza and in other areas like Lebanon, Yemen, Iraq, and Syria. And this community is basically from these countries that I mentioned: Palestine, Lebanon, Yemen, Iraq, and Syria, and other countries as well. And I know that you are very angry about the genocide that is being committed in Gaza. And we see it every day on television, and we feel it in our homes, and in our bones, and in our hearts. And we are angry. But what is important in here is for you to be angry and do something about it. And how you do it is on February 27th, we have the opportunity to go to the polls, and even before then, in early voting, and tell our current president and former president and any candidates who's running how we feel about it by voting. There is nothing louder than your vote and your voice in the ballot box. Nothing is more important. It comes often, every 4 years, and this is the time. So please, we have a campaign of uncommitted vote. What is uncommitted? It means that we are not going to commit to any of those people who are running, either in the Democratic Party or in the Republican Party. Because frankly, both parties have not done us good lately. And what we need to do is we need to send this message in the ballot box. When we vote uncommitted, we are going to be counted as people who are not happy with the status quo. And that is a message that we can send on February 27th for the November election. The more the numbers, the louder the message. So go, vote. Vote yes for the college proposal. Vote yes for the school proposal, because these are important to our kids and to our communities and to our cities. Vote uncommitted. Vote for anybody you want to vote, but don't vote for Biden. Because we wanted to send a message how angry and how dissatisfied we are. The more number of votes of uncommitted, the more powerful the message is. There are 3 ballots available. One for the Democrat, one for the Republican, and one for the no declaration of a party, that you do not belong to any party. You can ask for any of the 3. The no declaration, it doesn't have anybody on the presidential race, because this race is about the Democrat and Republican nominee. The other 2, they have the 2 ballots, the 2 proposals on the ballot, and the presidential nominees, the Republican and the Democrat. In the no declaration ballot, there is only the 2 ballots, the 2 proposals on the ballot. Do whatever you wanted to do, but vote yes on the 2 proposals, and also vote uncommitted on the Democrat and on the Republican ballot. That's our recommendation. And we bow to your decision. We accept your decision, whatever it is. So it's only a recommendation in here. We're going to show you after this immediately of how these 3 ballots works, and we're going to do a demonstration how to vote. We ask that you do not write on the ballot and fill more bubbles than you should. Like, for example, on the presidential race, whether it's a Democrat or a Republican, do not vote by filling the bubble more than 1 bubble, and do not write on the ballot, because if you do fill 2 bubbles on the presidential race, you will spoil your ballot. It means that the ballot will be thrown out, not counted. There is a bubble circle that has empty space next to it. You can fill it and say Free Palestine if you want to. That will be counted, but not as uncommitted. We ask that you do whatever you wanted to do, but don't spoil your ballot. Vote for anybody, don't vote for Biden. Vote yes on the proposal for Henry Ford College. Vote yes on the Dearborn Public School proposal. I wanted to thank you for listening. After this, immediately we will show you a demonstration of how to fill these ballots. Thank you for listening. We appreciate your patience with us. Mr. Kavalhuna, thank you for joining us. We appreciate your leadership and also all the work and the hard work you've done. Please say hello to Miles for me.
I'll do that. Thank you.
بس تدخل على قاعة الانتخابات بدك تطلب من المسؤولين بقاعة الانتخابات في 3 لوائح انتخابية. أول لائحة انتخابية هي للناس الغير حزبيين، لأنه هذه الانتخابات هي انتخابات حزبية لترشيح الرئاسة في الحزبين الجمهوري والديمقراطي. ولكن إذا كنت منك حزبي فيك تقترح للأشياء غير الحزبية، يعني فيك تقترح لغير رئاسة المرشحين للرئاسة بالحزب الجمهوري أو الحزب الديمقراطي. هذه اللائحة اسمها الاقتراع بدون إعلان الحزب، إنه ما عندك أنت انتماء لا للحزب الديمقراطي ولا الحزب الجمهوري. بتجي بتطلب منهم إنه هيدي أنا مني حزب، يعطيني لائحة بدون حزب، وبتقترح أنت على 2. هيدا المقترح لهنري فورد كوليج، بتحط نعم بتعبيها بهالشكل هيك. وهيدي المقترح للمدارس كمان بتعبي الدائرة بهالشكل هيدا. هيدي أول وحدة. هلا الثانية هي إذا كنت من الحزب الديمقراطي بتقول لهم اعطوني لائحة الحزب الديمقراطي للاقتراع. بلائحة الحزب الديمقراطي في عندك كمان نفس الشيء، قائمة قسم القوانين المقترحة، يعني هي اقتراح هنري فورد كوليج، نحن قلنا نعم بدنا نصوت له. كمان لمدارس ديربون مقترح كمان بدنا نصوت له نعم، بدك تعبي كل السيركل هيك. كمان هون بتجي للاختيارات الحزبية في الرئاسة الأمريكية، صوت للي بدك إياه بس ما تصوت لبايدن. بس بهيدا الاسم لازم بس تعبي بابل وحدة، يعني سيركل وحدة، دائرة وحدة. نحن بنقترح عليك انك تحط هيدي وما تكتب اي شيء تاني، لا هون ولا هون ولا باي محل، بس تعبي هالدائرة غير ملتزم، او اذا بدك تعبي اسم شيء تاني، او مثلا تقول فري بالستاين بدون ما تحط هيدي الدائرة، بتعبي هيدي الدائرة وبتحط فري بالستاين هون، بس ما فيك تعبيهم اثنيناتهم. اذا بتعبيهم اثنيناتهم بيلغوا لك كمان هذه لائحة الانتخاب. لائحة الانتخاب الحزب الجمهوري، في ناس بدهم يصوتوا للحزب الجمهوري، نحن نقترح انه تصوت بنعم لهنري فورد، تعبي هذه الدائرة، بتصوت نعم للمدارس بهذه الدائرة، وبتصوت كمان بقسم الاختيارات الحزبية لأي واحد بدك. ولكن نحن بنقول لك من هلا أفضلنا أنك تقول غير ملتزم وتصوت بهيدا الدائرة هيدي. هلا فيك تصوت بمحلات تانية بس ما فيك تعبي أكتر من دائرة. إذا بتعبي أكتر من دائرة أو بتكتب هون أي شيء يلغى الانتخاب تاعولك، ورقة الانتخاب، يعني بيروح صوتك. هلا هودي بالعربي. When you go into a polling station to cast your vote, there are 3 ballots. One is no party declaration ballot, which means that you do not belong to the Republican or the Democratic Party. You are non-partisan. You do not belong to any party, so you don't have declaration to any ballot. You do not want to ask for the Republican. You do not want to ask for the Democrat. You ask for the no party declaration ballot. On the no party declaration ballot, you have the proposals for Henry Ford College, Millage, and the proposal for for the schools. Both of them, we recommend you fill the bubble by saying yes. Yes. Do not fill 2 bubbles, because if you fill 2 bubbles on the same slate, on the same proposal, your ballot will be spoiled. If you are a Republican, if you are a Democrat, you ask for the Democratic ballot. On the Democratic ballot, you have the Henry Ford College proposal, the Dearborn Public School proposal, and you have a list of Republican candidates for president. You can select one of them. We recommend that you fill in the uncommitted, because uncommitted will be counted as one of our votes that will show up later in the counting the votes, that who voted uncommitted. On this one we will fill yes, and on this one we will fill yes. Now, one important thing is you cannot fill more than 1 bubble in here. Only one bubble. Only one bubble. And you cannot write anything on the ballot, otherwise you will spoil it. That's for the Democratic Party. The Republican Party is the same. You have the Henry Ford ballot proposal on the ballot. You have the Dearborn Public School proposal on the ballot. Both of them you have to fill yes. So here it is. One is yes. Another one is yes. And here there are the list of the Republican candidates for the presidential race. We suggest that you fill the uncommitted, because this will be counted as one that we are not happy with both parties because of what's happening in Gaza. I thank you for your participation. Go between now and February 27 and vote.